Thanks again for tuning in to another Future Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Dave, and I'm here to answer another great question that came in about meditation. I think the question was, what is meditation, why is it important, and how does it work? It's a big question, but I'll do my best to answer it as quickly as I can and concisely as I can for all of you listening. So meditation, or mindfulness practice, and there's a lot of different kinds of meditation. So, we think oftentimes that meditation is something that there's only one kind and it requires you to go sit in a corner and breathe for a long time, is really not true. There's lots of different kinds of meditation. There's movement meditation, and there's sitting meditation, and then there's a whole bunch of different kinds of each of those. And so meditation is actually a really interesting idea about it's a practice of bringing us back into the present. So as an idea, think about how our minds are really predictive machines. We have all these parts of our brains that are focused on remembering the past and also predicting the future so that we don't repeat the same mistakes that we might have made in the past or that we perceive to be as mistakes in the past. So that's really interesting because when we spend a lot of our time thinking about the past, which is something that we can't exactly change, and we spend a lot of time then trying to predict the future, which is also something that we can only guess. We can't actually predict the future. We can only guess what will happen, and our brains are really guessing or predicting machines. What meditation and breath work do, or these meditation techniques, is they remind us to be mindful of the present moment. Because ultimately, the present moment, this little space that sits in between our past experiences and our future, is the moment where our actions, our thoughts, our feelings actually have the power to change the outcome of our future. So the practice of meditation is really a practice of presentness. It's a practice of restoring and expanding and increasing access to the present moment and really seeing and observing and experiencing everything that the present moment has to offer. The present moment that again sits in between our past and our future. As Ram Dass said, be here now, because now and here where we are, which is what we do when we take the opportunity to breathe intentionally and feel the air coming into our lungs and nothing else, and just experience that and experience everything coming into our bodies, is the opportunity that we have to be the most connected to our environment and to understand all the signals that are coming in without judging those signals based on the past or based on our predictions of the future. It's just experiencing what our environment has to offer. And there's, as we know from not only neuroscience but also physical science, there's a whole lot of stuff going on around us that we are not aware of because it's stuff we can't see. Radio frequencies is one example. Things we can't see and things we can't hear and things we can't taste or touch or smell. There are a whole lot of other frequencies of input going on around us all the time. So meditation is a practice that, similar to some of the practices we were talking about earlier, breath work being one, is that it helps us to be present with ourselves and be present with the world around us, to allow ourselves to really be aware of as much of our environment as we can within ourselves and outside of ourselves. And when we practice that over time, what we're practicing is reestablishing balance in our nervous systems by just being, right? We call ourselves human beings because in a lot of ways our most important feature that we are capable of is to just be. And yet we spend so much time doing rather than being. Doing is referring to things like everything from judging to thinking to working to anything, talking. All of these things make it hard to be aware of just being without judgment, without analysis. And so meditation allows us an opportunity to practice and strengthen these techniques, just like working out in the gym. Practicing meditation helps us to be more aware of our environment, to be more mindful, to be more aware of ourselves and more connected to ourselves, and also more connected to the world around us. And the more that we practice it, not just sitting, but really, as many of the Buddhist monks say, in every waking moment of our lives, the more we practice being present with ourselves and being present and mindful of our surroundings, the more of the present that we experience and the more agency or control we have over our experiences. So this is important because a lot of the principles of meditation, and I know many people struggle with meditation. I personally struggle with meditation. It's a very difficult practice to become a masterful at. Many people spend thousands of hours practicing meditation before they become really good at it. But the point is that meditation is something that we can all do all the time. Part of the tool that we developed, Apollo, at the University of Pittsburgh, is that it facilitates access to meditative states. It makes it easier to access meditative states by balancing the body, balancing the nervous system, by bringing the mind, which could be in the past or could be in the future, back to the body, centered within the body, which is what the practice of mindfulness and breath work does. And it does so by stimulating the body with gentle touch. Stimulating the touch receptors helps recenter our minds in our bodies back in the present moment. Again, the more time we spend in the present moment, the more we are able to effectively change the outcome of our future. That's it for today on Future Medicine with Dr. Dave. Stay tuned for more coming up soon.